Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Daily Fix. I am your usual host, Advocate Tulo Hoyane. I am still on the Senzo Meyiwa story. I will never leave this story until something that makes sense comes to the fore. We cannot just leave something like this just go, unnoticed because other people just want to see it go unnoticed and swept under the carpet. This morning, what I want to address is the issue of the confessions. This case is largely based on the confessions which were allegedly made by the accused persons. Now, what is a confession in law? A confession in law is a statement made freely and voluntarily. And I want to underline that. Freely and voluntarily by the person making it, implicating himself in the commission of the crime that he's charged with. And that confession must be taken before a magistrate. And the magistrate must convince himself or herself that this confession is taken freely and that the person who's making the confession is not under any duress or pressure from anybody or anything. In other words, it is a free and voluntary statement. So the Senzo Meyiwa case against the 5 accused that we see in the dock is based on confessions. These confessions have been totally rejected by the accused persons. Not a single one of them has agreed that he ever made a confession before any magistrate. That is one leg of the puzzle. Now, let us go ahead and look at the nature of these confessions. These confessions allegedly stemmed from, or the most important confession was made by Bongani Ntanzi. Ntanzi, in his affidavit, which was read in court, says that Kelly Khumalo was the mastermind behind the killing of Senzo Meyiwa. In other words, he confirms that this was a contract killing. Right? There you have it. Now, these confessions are seemingly acceptable to the court, in spite of the fact that, the people who are supposed to have made these confessions, the accused persons, have rejected them out of hand. Now, what do we make out of these confessions? Even if we were to believe these confessions, and I don't believe them, even if we were to believe these confessions, Ntanzi says this was a contract killing. They were contracted by Kelly Khumalo to kill Senzo Meyiwa. Now, if the court goes along with these confessions, why then is Kelly Khumalo left out of the equation? Why do these confessions only implicate those that made them? In other words, why has the state not developed an interest in this other 6th person, which at the investigation stage, I'm not even talking about the trial now, which at the investigation stage allegedly made the confession to the effect that this was a contract killing? Now there you have it. Kelly Khumalo is just simply being left out of this. And, why should a person, on the other hand, make a confession and then turn against it so strongly? But the point that I'm trying to make is we are not seeing justice here. We are not seeing justice here. There are so many twists and turns. What I intend to do is to unbundle it all for you. I am not going to be too legalistic. I know, the law, frankly speaking, is boring to many people. Once you start, explaining things in terms of section whatever and rule whatever, people just switch off. So I will endeavor to make everything simple for you to understand. I strongly believe that Kelly Khumalo must be in that dock. She must be in that dock. This is a mockery of justice. And I've always observed I've sat in that courtroom over a number of times. The one shocking thing that I've seen is that the judge just, runs all over the defense. The judge just runs all over the defense. The defense is not assertive. One of the first things that we learned as lawyers many years ago, 30 plus years ago, is that you must be respectful to the court, but you must be firm in whatever you're saying. I see these lawyers just get pushed around by Justice Ratamokwatleng, and they just go along with it. They just go along with it. If you are a defense lawyer and you are out to represent somebody, you must tell the judge where to get off. Not in such strong language, but to say to the judge, look, I have got people to represent here. People's freedom is at stake here. People's lives are at stake here. And I will not go along with what the court is telling me to do. In other words, if you just let the judge do everything, then what, for want of a better expression, what the hell are you there for? So let us look at this dimension and say to ourselves, okay, there we have it. Incidentally, I've just come across also information that, Brigadier Gininda was never the lead investigator in this matter. He has styled himself the lead investigator. There were 4 investigators, and they were all on the same rank. Gininda was never the lead investigator. He probably just jumped on the bandwagon to do whatever he wanted to do. But he was never the lead investigator, and this has been denied by his own colleagues. Under oath in court, his colleagues have said, no, Gininda was never our senior. He was just another investigator. Look at it this way also. After Musia and the others, shortly after Senzo was killed, Musia and others left the crime scene unattended. How do police leave a crime scene unattended? And they all rushed to the hospital, leaving the scene unattended, so that anybody in then could, that cleaned, it was already cleaned, this crime scene, remember, could have, interfered or contaminated the scene to hide evidence. What kind of case is this? Surely something must be done. I am just trying to look for a way forward, perhaps to bring, if it is possible, to bring an end to this charade. We need to see a clear case that will identify the real suspects. If it is the people in the dock, so be it. But it is becoming very clear that they were not acting alone, that Kelly Kumalo was the mastermind. Having said this, let me just conclude by saying I am very happy with the subscriptions that are coming in. I am also happy with the views. Let us keep on viewing these videos and subscribing. I implore you to subscribe. And I will unbundle this case on a daily basis until we get to the bottom of everything. Thank you for watching, and please kindly subscribe.